Hello fans! Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the latest twists and turns unfolding in Port Charles on Tuesday, June 10th. From long-anticipated farewells to simmering secrets threatening to burst into the open, this episode promises emotional farewells, unexpected betrayals, and fraught confrontations. Let's unpack the drama with fresh perspectives, inventive details, and a closer look at the complex web of relationships that define our beloved soap opera. Buckle up for a roller coaster of emotions as we explore Lucky Spencer's departure, Michael Corinthos' outreach, Nina Reeves' tricky predicament, and much more in this extended exploration of General Hospital's latest developments. First up, let's talk about a moment many fans have seen coming for quite some time: Lucky Spencer's bittersweet exit from Port Charles. The rumors have swirled for months, with whispers that the character's journey might be taking him away from the familiar streets he's called home for so long. Now, the inevitable has arrived as Lucky prepares to bid a heart-wrenching goodbye to his sister, Lulus Spencer. This isn't just a casual farewell, it's laden with heavy emotions as Lulu grapples with the pain of losing her brother's presence once again. Her reaction is a tempest of sorrow and frustration, a poignant reminder of their shared history and the unbreakable bond they've forged through countless trials. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Weber finds herself confiding in Lucas Jones about this seismic shift in her world. Their conversation is set to be a highlight, echoing the warmth and authenticity of their unforgettable moment at the nurses' ball. Elizabeth's vulnerability shines as she processes what Lucky's departure means for her own path forward, and Lucas proves to be the steadfast friend she desperately needs. Their dynamic, often underutilized, offers a refreshing depth to the narrative, and we're eager to see how their connection might evolve amidst this upheaval. Elsewhere in Port Charles, a storm is brewing as Drew Kane sinks to yet another deplorable low, a move that will leave even his staunchest defenders shaking their heads in disbelief. While speaking with Rick Lansing, Drew declares his intent to halt something in its tracks, leaving viewers to ponder the nature of his latest scheme. Given the context, it's highly likely this ties into the ongoing custody battle that has fractured relationships and raised tensions to a boiling point. Could Drew be plotting to undermine Michael Corinthos' return with a cunning, underhanded tactic? Fans still recoil at the memory of Drew's past manipulations, like when he bribed a nurse to feed Willow Tate false information about Michael's intent, a moment that redefined the depths of his deceit. Yet, recent episodes suggest that was merely the tip of the iceberg. Drew's actions now hint at a darker, more desperate edge, as if he's willing to sacrifice any shred of morality to secure his own interests. What new boundary will he cross this time? One can only imagine the fallout when his latest machination comes to light, potentially alienating even those closest to him. Turning our attention to Michael Corinthos, we find him taking a proactive stance amidst the chaos, seeking a private conversation at the courthouse. This move appears to be a heartfelt attempt to bridge the widening gap with Willow Tate, searching for a middle ground that could mend their strained connection. Speculation points to Michael wanting to hash out a compromise that honors both their perspectives, especially after Sonny Corinthos' recent advice seemed to strike a chord. Recall that poignant scene where Michael extended a genuine olive branch, welcoming Willow to meet his new daughter. It wasn't just a gesture for appearances or for the sake of his child, it was a sincere acknowledgement of Willow's efforts and her rightful place in their family dynamic. This act of kindness could be the key to softening Willow's defenses, paving the way for a candid dialogue between the two. Michael's approach seems rooted in empathy, a rare commodity in the high-stakes drama of Port Charles, and it might just be the catalyst needed to start rebuilding trust. However, the looming shadow of Drew's interference threatens to derail any progress. If Drew injects his toxic influence into this delicate situation, the fragile hope of reconciliation could shatter before it even takes root. Lastly, let's delve into the mounting tension between Willow Tate and Nina Reeves, as secrets long buried begin to claw their way to the surface. Willow confronts Nina with piercing questions about why she's been withholding crucial information, and the spotlight falls on a particularly scandalous revelation: Nina's knowledge of Michael's intimate encounter with Sasha Gilmore. The fact that Nina chose to keep this bombshell under wraps rather than immediately confiding in Willow has created a rift that's impossible to ignore. This confrontation is set to be a masterclass in emotional intensity, with Willow demanding answers and Nina scrambling to justify her silence. On one hand, Nina might argue that her discretion was an act of protection, shielding Willow from a truth that could inflict unbearable pain. Perhaps she'll weave a narrative of waiting for the right moment, hoping to spare Willow unnecessary heartbreak during an already tumultuous time. On the other hand, the stakes are perilously high. Should Drew decide to expose Nina's duplicity, her carefully constructed defense could crumble in an instant. Imagine the devastation if Willow discovers not just the secret, but the calculated delay in its disclosure, potentially severing any chance of repairing their fragile bond. Adding to the intrigue, let's consider a new layer. What if Nina's hesitation stemmed from a clandestine promise to Sasha, a pact to protect her reputation amidst her own personal struggles? This invented angle adds a moral quandary to Nina's predicament, painting her silence as a conflicted choice between loyalties rather than mere deceit. As this storyline unfolds, the emotional fallout promises to reshape alliances and test the very limits of forgiveness in Port Charles. As we wrap up this deep dive into Tuesday's episode of General Hospital, it's clear that the drama in Port Charles is reaching fever pitch. Lucky Spencer's departure marks the end of an era, stirring raw emotions in Lulu and Elizabeth while offering a chance to explore untapped friendships like that of Elizabeth and Lucas. Drew's descent into moral ambiguity continues to shock, setting the stage for explosive consequences that could ripple through multiple lives. Michael's earnest attempt to reconnect with Willow offers a glimmer of hope, though it dangles precariously under the threat of Drew's meddling. And finally, the clash between Willow and Nina over hidden truths introduces layers of complexity, enriched by the possibility of deeper motivations and unspoken promises. Next, we will uncover the chilling possibilities surrounding a potential baby kidnapping in Port Charles as Michael Corinthos and Sasha Corbin face new dangers with the arrival of their precious daughter, Daisy. This episode teases a storm of trouble brewing on the horizon, with threats lurking around every corner of this notoriously perilous town. From past grudges to family legacies of chaos, the risks to this innocent newborn are mounting. Join us as we explore the intricate layers of danger, introduce fresh twists to the narrative, and delve into the emotional stakes for Michael, Sasha, and their extended families in this expanded exploration of General Hospital's latest heart-pounding storyline. Let's start by setting the scene in the volatile world of Port Charles, where safety is a fleeting illusion, especially for the youngest and most vulnerable. Michael Corinthos and Sasha Corbin have just welcomed their bundle of joy, a beautiful baby girl named Daisy, into their lives, a moment of pure bliss that's already overshadowed by the dark undercurrents of their surroundings. Fans of General Hospital know all too well that this town is a breeding ground for danger, where happiness is often a precursor to devastating twists. The arrival of Daisy, while a cause for celebration, feels like the calm before the storm, as both of her parents carry histories steeped in peril. Sasha's past entanglements and Michael's ties to a notorious family empire paint a target on their newborn's back. The question isn't if trouble will strike, but when and from which direction. As we unpack the layers of this storyline, it's clear that Daisy's innocence might soon be tested by the harsh realities of Port Charles, setting the stage for a gripping saga of fear, protection, and desperate measures. Diving deeper into Sasha's side of the story, her own harrowing experiences serve as a grim warning of what could lie ahead for little Daisy. Not long ago, Sasha found herself ensnared in a terrifying ordeal, kidnapped by the ruthless Jen Sidwell due to her connection with Holly Sutton. This wasn't a random act of malice, it was a calculated move by a man who plays by his own dangerous rules. Even though Sasha managed to negotiate a lucrative deal to secure her freedom, trusting Sidwell to stay out of her life feels like a gamble with impossibly high stakes. His history of abducting those close to his targets suggests he wouldn't hesitate to strike again if it serves his interests. Imagine a chilling scenario where Sidwell, hungry for leverage or revenge, sets his sights on Daisy as a means to manipulate Sasha or settle an old score with Holly. Adding a new twist, what if Sidwell has a hidden operative embedded in Port Charles, someone who's been quietly observing Sasha's every move, waiting for the perfect moment to snatch the baby during a seemingly innocuous outing at the park? This invented element heightens the suspense, painting Sidwell as a shadowy puppet master whose reach extends far beyond what Sasha could anticipate. The fear of history repeating itself looms large, promising sleepless nights for Sasha as she struggles to shield her daughter from the ghosts of her past. On the other side of this fragile family unit, Michael's lineage brings its own Pandora's box of threats to Daisy's safety. Being a Corinthos in Port Charles is akin to wearing a permanent bullseye, and Michael has already dodged deadly situations that highlight the constant danger surrounding his family. Recall the horrifying penthouse explosion meant for his father, Sonny Corinthos, which Michael narrowly survived, a stark reminder of the collateral damage that comes with the Corinthos name. What if Sonny's enigmatic enemy, frustrated by repeated failures to eliminate him, shifts their strategy to a more sinister tactic? Kidnapping Daisy could be the ultimate weapon, a cruel ploy to lure Sonny into a trap by exploiting his love for his granddaughter. Picture a desperate scenario where this shadowy foe sends Sonny a cryptic message, demanding he exchange his life for Daisy's safe return, staging the handover in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. This invented detail amplifies the emotional weight of the potential abduction, forcing Sonny to confront an impossible choice while Michael and Sasha are left powerless, frantically searching for any clue to their daughter's whereabouts. The stakes couldn't be higher, as this act of malice could fracture the Corinthos family in ways they've never faced before, testing their resilience and unity in the face of unimaginable loss. Of course, no discussion of a Corinthos crisis would be complete without considering the role of Jason Morgan, the family's steadfast protector who often emerges as a beacon of hope in the darkest moments. Should Daisy fall into the wrong hands, Jason's instincts and resourcefulness could be the key to her safe return. His history of navigating Port Charles' underbelly equips him with the skills to track down even the most elusive threats, but the road to rescue won't be without its harrowing obstacles. Envision a tense sequence where Jason uncovers a lead pointing to an old safe house used by Sonny's enemies, only to walk into an ambush that tests his limits. This added layer of drama showcases Jason's unwavering loyalty, but also underscores the terrifying reality that even his intervention might not guarantee immediate safety for Daisy. There could be nerve-wracking moments where time slips away, perhaps a stormy night where Jason races against the clock to decipher a coded ransom note while Michael and Sasha cling to hope at home, surrounded by reminders of their missing child. These fabricated details intensify the suspense, reminding us that in Port Charles, happy endings are never assured, and every rescue mission carries the weight of potential tragedy. As we reflect on the broader implications of this brewing storyline, it's worth noting that baby kidnappings are almost a rite of passage in the world of soap operas, a dramatic trope that never fails to captivate audiences with its raw emotional power. For Michael and Sasha, Daisy's arrival was meant to be a fresh start, a chance to build a family free from the shadows that have long haunted them. Yet, the specter of abduction looms as an inevitable test of their strength and love. Whether the threat comes from Sidwell's lingering vendetta, a new player in Holly's orbit, or an enemy targeting the Corinthos legacy, the danger feels all too real. General Hospital thrives on these high-stakes narratives, weaving together personal histories and present fears to create a tapestry of suspense that keeps us on the edge of our seats. The writers have a golden opportunity to explore not just the logistics of a potential kidnapping, but also the profound impact on Michael and Sasha's relationship. Will they grow closer in their shared grief, or will blame and desperation drive a wedge between them? This storyline promises to be a masterclass in tension, with every episode inching us closer to a resolution that could either heal or shatter this young family. In wrapping up our extensive look at this unsettling development on General Hospital, it's evident that Michael and Sasha are stepping into uncharted territory with Daisy's birth, where joy is tinged with the ever-present threat of loss. The perils tied to Sasha's past with Jen Sidwell and Holly Sutton cast a dark shadow, amplified by imagined conspiracies like hidden operatives ready to strike. Michael's connection to the Corinthos family adds another layer of vulnerability, with potential traps set by unseen enemies that could ensnare Daisy as a pawn in a deadly game. Jason Morgan stands as a potential savior, though even his heroics come with no guarantees in a town as unpredictable as Port Charles. As ABC General Hospital spoilers hint at more baby drama on the horizon, we're left bracing for the inevitable twists that will challenge this family's endurance. What do you think? Will Daisy's safety be compromised? And if so, who will be the mastermind behind the chaos? Next, we will delve into a fiery showdown that's setting Port Charles ablaze as Brooklyn Quartermain unleashes a meticulously crafted revenge against Lulus Spencer. The fallout from the nurse's ball has left wounds that refuse to heal, and Brooklyn is not holding back in her quest for retribution after Lulu's earth-shattering revelation about Joe Palmieri. This isn't just a petty feud, it's a full-blown war of wits, secrets, and strategic strikes that promises to keep us glued to our screens. Join us as we explore every tantalizing detail, weave in fresh twists, and expand on the simmering drama with creative flair, all while staying true to the core of this explosive storyline. Get ready for a wild ride through betrayal, vengeance, and poetic justice. Let's kick things off by revisiting the cataclysmic event that ignited this inferno of emotions in Port Charles. During the unforgettable Nurses' Ball, Lulus Spencer dropped the bombshell that shattered lives, publicly exposing Joe Palmieri as the secret son of Brooklyn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri. This wasn't a quiet whisper shared in confidence. It was a devastating public humiliation that tore through Brooklyn's world like a hurricane, leaving nothing but wreckage in its wake. The moment Joe overheard Lulu confronting Lois Trullo backstage, his reality crumbled. His identity, his family, everything he thought he knew was revealed to be a fabrication. The raw pain in his eyes as he smashed his violin mid-performance was a gut-wrenching symbol of his inner turmoil, a dramatic crescendo that echoed through the stunned audience. This wasn't just a personal betrayal for Brooklyn, it was a vicious assault on her carefully guarded life, stripping away her control and leaving her exposed. The emotional scars from that night run deep, and as we delve further into this saga, it's clear that Brooklyn's thirst for vengeance isn't just warranted, it's inevitable. Her pain has morphed into a burning resolve, setting the stage for a retaliation that promises to be as unforgettable as the revelation itself. Now, let's turn to the heart of Brooklyn's fury and the calculated path she's chosen to reclaim her power. She isn't merely simmering with anger, she's a mastermind weaving a web of retribution with precision and patience. Brooklyn has every reason to feel betrayed. Lulu didn't just spill a secret, she demolished the foundation of Brooklyn's existence with the tact of a sledgehammer smashing through glass. But instead of lashing out in blind rage, Brooklyn is playing the long game, her mind sharp and her intentions lethal. She's not content with a simple slap on the wrist. She wants Lulu to feel the same shattering loss of control that she endured. To add a new layer of intrigue, imagine Brooklyn uncovering a hidden journal entry from Joe, written in the aftermath of the Nurses' Ball, where he pours out his confusion and heartbreak over being kept in the dark about his true parentage. This invented element fuels Brooklyn's resolve further, as she vows to protect her son's fragile heart by making Lulu pay for the pain she inflicted. Every move Brooklyn makes is now driven by a fierce maternal instinct intertwined with her need for justice, transforming her into a formidable force that Lulu might have underestimated. The stage is set for a clash of epic proportions, and Brooklyn is ready to strike where it hurts most. Here's where the plot thickens with a delicious twist of scandal that Brooklyn has up her sleeve. She's armed herself with explosive ammunition, evidence of Lulu's ill-advised escapade into Martin Gray's hotel room. This wasn't just a casual snooping session. Lulu, in a move that could only be described as comically desperate, disguised herself as a maid to infiltrate Martin's private space at the Metro Court. Picture the absurdity of Lulus Spencer, Port Charles' so-called master of investigation, fumbling with a maid's uniform and a borrowed keycard. Her attempt at stealth more reminiscent of a slapstick comedy than a covert operation. Brooklyn, ever the strategist, has tapped into her husband Harrison Chase's resources as a dedicated lawman to secure damning security footage of this escapade. Let's add a fresh detail to heighten the drama. What if the footage also captures Lulu accidentally knocking over a vase in Martin's room? The crash echoing through the hallway and nearly blowing her cover as she scrambles to clean up the mess. This invented moment adds a layer of humiliation to Lulu's predicament, making the evidence even more incriminating. Brooklyn isn't just holding a card, she's holding a royal flush, and she's ready to lay it all on the table with devastating impact. The moment of reckoning is where this revenge plot reaches its peak, and it's nothing short of cinematic in its delivery. Imagine the scene. Harrison Chase, with his unyielding sense of duty, arrives at Lulu's doorstep, the glint of handcuffs in his hand signaling the seriousness of the situation. Lulu's expression morphs from confusion to sheer panic as the reality of her actions catches up with her. She's being arrested for breaking and entering, a charge that could tarnish her reputation beyond repair. And standing just a few feet behind Chase, with a triumphant smirk curling her lips, is Brooklyn Quartermain herself, savoring every second of this long-awaited payback. This isn't merely justice, it's a masterstroke of poetic retribution, orchestrated with chilling precision. To enrich this moment, let's introduce a new element. As Lulu is led away, she catches a glimpse of Joe watching from a distance, his conflicted gaze torn between his mother's pain and the betrayal he's endured. This added detail deepens the emotional stakes, reminding Brooklyn that while her revenge tastes sweet, the collateral damage to her son's heart remains a heavy burden. Nevertheless, this arrest is a clear message to Lulu that her actions at the nurses' ball have consequences, and Brooklyn is far from finished settling the score. Finally, let's explore the aftermath and the unapologetic stance Brooklyn takes as this chapter of her vendetta unfolds. Lulu might try to plead her case, stammering excuses about how she never intended for the nurses' ball revelation to spiral out of control, claiming her heart was in the right place. But for Brooklyn, these apologies ring hollow, mere whispers against the deafening roar of her wounded pride and shattered trust. She's made it abundantly clear that this arrest is only the opening salvo in a much larger battle. Picture a tense confrontation outside the police station where Brooklyn, with ice in her voice, warns Lulu that every secret she's ever buried is fair game, no perhaps even hinting at a rumored past indiscretion involving Lulu and a mysterious figure from her early days in Port Charles. This fabricated tease adds another layer of suspense, suggesting that Brooklyn has more dirt up her sleeve, ready to unearth at the perfect moment. The message is unmistakable. Brooklyn is playing for keeps, and Lulu should brace herself for a storm of repercussions that will test her resilience like never before. In Port Charles, revenge isn't just a dish best served cold, it's a full-course meal, and Brooklyn is just getting started with the appetizers. As we close this deep dive into the electrifying drama consuming General Hospital, it's evident that Brooklyn Quartermain's quest for vengeance against Lulu Spencer is reshaping the landscape of Port Charles. The nurses' ball bombshell about Joe Palmieri's true parentage was only the spark. Now, a raging inferno of retribution burns bright as Brooklyn weaponizes Lulu's reckless break-in at the Metro Court. With Harrison Chase delivering the arrest and new twists like Gio's hidden journal entries and Lulu's clumsy mishap on security footage, the emotional and dramatic stakes soar to new heights. Brooklyn's unwavering declaration that this is merely the beginning ensures that more shocks await, potentially unearthing even darker secrets from Lulu's past. This storyline is a testament to General Hospital's knack for weaving personal betrayals into sprawling sagas of revenge and redemption. So, what's next in this clash of titans? Will Lulu find a way to counterattack, or is Brooklyn poised to dominate this feud? Share your predictions in the comments, and stay tuned to ABC General Hospital spoilers for every jaw-dropping update. Until next time, keep the Port Charles passion burning.